You're listening to the Snob OS podcast, the podcast for Apple snobs. Yo, this is Terrance Gaines, aka Brother Tech.
And this is Nica Montford, aka Tech Savvy Diva.
And welcome back to the Snob OS show, the show for Apple snobs, where we talk all things Apple and then some. We definitely want to welcome you back to another episode of the Snob OS show. This is episode 307. So we definitely want to say thank you to all those who are listening, those who are watching, those who are Patreon supporters. We thank you all for your support. Moving right along, we're going to jump right into the show where we talk all things Apple, and we're going to start with WWDC 25. Apple has finally announced its yearly worldwide developer conference. The conference is in June. It's from June 9th to June 13th. And as per usual, Apple is going to invite out all its app developers, all the people, all the third-party app developers and services within its ecosystem. In addition to that, Apple does do its keynote where it lets the consumers, the customers know about all the cool things that Apple will be working on and or releasing later this year. There's no new news from Apple directly. There was a couple of blogs, speculating. So I figured we speculate too. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think is coming out? What do you think Apple is going to announce at WWDC? And what do you want Apple to announce during WWDC in June?
So I am an Apple developer. So I've already cast my net to be in the queue to see if I get one of the coveted invites to the keynote. So we are supposed to hear next Wednesday, Thursday, whatever the third is, by end of day Pacific time to see if we got one of the golden tickets. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this year will be my year. I get to be there. If not, we'll try again next year. So as far as what I'm looking forward to see, we've heard that iOS 19 is going to be the biggest transformation, the biggest update since iOS 7. So that's 12 iOSs ago, which is essentially 12 years ago. So I'm interested to see what a 12-year leap into the future this new iOS looks like for Apple. I do have some concerns, or I don't know, some to see what this transformation looks like. iOS 18, which was the introduction of Apple Intelligence, definitely kind of ruffled some people's feathers. It definitely kind of changed, especially with the Photos app, the search, the introduction of Apple Intelligence, the updates for Homegirl, the Assistant. So I'm interested to see what that looks like, what this transformation looks like. And I think it will give us some hints as to what the iPhone 17, and if they do this Air stupidness, I think that'll give us some insight as to what we can look forward to on the hardware side. I personally, for me at this point with iOS, I'm more concerned about improving what they already have, because there are some things that could be better. I'll say it that way. And it's one of those things where it's great to have all these new features. It's great to have new fun things. But at the same time, we live our lives basically with these little devices. So keeping with just like significant changes and not giving people time to get used to this, even though I'm obviously an early adopter, so I dive head into whatever it is. I'm a person who can pivot easily. So, that's my concern is I don't know how Apple's consistency has changed. And when I say consistency, things that Apple is known for, things we've come to expect from them, that has shifted into something that I haven't always agreed with. And so I'm interested to see what this, especially iOS 19, what it's going to look like and how it's going to impact to the day to day. Because there are some things with iOS 18 that they need to remedy and fix. And I don't know if they're going to spend time on making something new and great, or if they're going to spend time with half the time new and great, half the time making what we already have better. So that's kind of the thing that I'm at this point as far as a software. That's like my biggest kind of like overarching thing that I'm interested to see come out of WWDC, and the fact that a lot of the features that we anticipated for iOS 18, the rollout, was definitely gradual, definitely incremental. So you're going to show us all this stuff for iOS 19, but are we going to be able to even use it come September when we get the new iPhone? Or is it going to be more of the same that we've had with iOS 18, meaning, yeah, we're going to give it to you, but we're not going to tell you exactly when we're going to give it to you, but we're just going to show you all the fun graphics and videos that we have of what you could be getting. So that's my thought process and my focus.
All right, all right. I definitely hope they tighten up Apple Intelligence. Definitely looking forward to the natural language processing that has been delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, the rumors that Apple Intelligence won't get the natural language and all the cool stuff until later this year, if not next year. I hope later this year meant in the fall when the new iPhone comes out, and I'm hoping that WWDC or Apple reassures us that they are full steam ahead on Apple Intelligence and it's going to be awesome, or at the very least, what we said it was going to be this time
Last
last
year.
year. Right.
And
So,
also I do want to say, because you did touch on something, I hope as far as what's coming with iOS 19, I'm really and truly hoping that it's not one of the things where you have to have the latest iPhone, meaning the 17, to get the benefit of whatever these new features are. Because a lot of times you need accelerated chips and processors and a phone that can handle whatever it is that they're going to do. I just hope that it's not one of those things where, oh yeah, you got all this new stuff, but you got to get the iPhone 17 or 16 that you just got last year is not going to give you this new stuff that we're coming out with.
yep, we shall see. We'll have to pay attention to WWDC in June. All right, the next thing I got going is Apple Card savings interest rates drop yet again.
Yep.
When the Apple Card savings account first came out, that gives you the ability to either move money into a savings account, your own money, or the cash back that you get from using the Apple credit card. You can roll that money into the savings account. And when it first launched, Apple introduced the Apple Card savings account in with 4.15% APY. Then it jumped up to 4.25% in December, and
Was
it jumped up to
rolling.
and then it rolled up to 4.35 in January 2024, then up to its high of 4.5% in late January of 2024. Stayed there for a few months. Then now it's on the downturn. So it's like a roller coaster. It went up and now it's going back down. It went from 4.5% down to 4.1%, down to 3.9. Now it's down to 3.75%. And I know that Apple is doing this in response to the Fed rate cuts or whatever the Feds are doing. I get it. All the credit cards. I've got a couple other credit cards where they had that high interest rate, and I had a couple other savings accounts with that high interest rate, and they are all kind of coming down and hovering
So
around
it's like
that
we got a
4%.
level set. Yep.
Right. Now, I get it. Everybody's doing it, but it's like I just thought Apple would be just a little bit
Just a
different.
little
But
better.
I have to remind myself that Apple does not run the savings, the financial portion of the
No.
Apple Card. Goldman Sachs
Goldman Sachs
does.
does.
And they are already have this contentious relationship with Apple. So I don't see Goldman Sachs doing Apple and us any favors
Nope.
by keeping the interest rate higher or on average higher than some of its competitors. They're going to go right lockstep with the rest of the
Yep.
banks. So
And
we're
like, I hope y'all
just,
find somebody else and leave us alone.
yeah,
Thanks.
well, I mean, again, right. I don't know if that's going to deter people because, like I mentioned, everybody else is kind of on the same level. I just thought it'd be a little bit different. That's all.
Yeah. Again, we have these high expectations of Apple again because what we've always expected from them, don't start us out like this and then only to let us down. But I get it. Same way I understand the economy, it's just a real shit show out here right now. I saw on DTNS, we talked about it yesterday. IBM is laying off 9,000 people. I just saw yesterday as well, Block laid off. Block is Jack Dorsey, former Twitter CEO and founder. He just cut like almost 1,000 people as well. So I get people are seeing what's going on in Washington, and they are trying to adjust things so that they'll remain solvent and in the black as much as possible. I get it, but at the same time, it still sucks.
Yep.
It still
Yep.
sucks.
Agreed. All right, moving right along. DJ with Apple Music is how I titled this. Apple has announced new DJ with Apple Music integration that will allow DJs, now actual DJs, not me running a playlist, actual
People with
DJs to,
turntables and the
yeah,
headphones.
right, to make selections from the DSP's catalog of over 100 million songs. Technology was made in partnership with DJ software and hardware platforms Alpha Theta, Serato, and In Music's Engine DJ, Denon DJ, Newmark, and Rain DJ. It expands an initial music integration with algorithms, DJ Pro software. So this sounds, I can only recognize two of those names, Serato and Denon. So all these other ones
I
I've never
recognize
heard
none.
of. So just because I don't recognize them, that means they must be good. Because if I've heard of them, then they ain't all that. So it
Right.
sounds like Apple has really partnered with some high end or mainstream DJ hardware and software. So we shall see. It'll be interesting to see if DJs take to this
Mm-hmm.
and integrate Apple Music into their how they create playlists, how they create tracks. Because my understanding is, again, I'm not a DJ, but my understanding is they are not pulling their music when they're mixing and when they're doing parties. They are not on connected to Apple Music. They have downloaded, they have
Mm-hmm.
streamed, they have this huge, their own MP3 library of songs that they arrange up to keep up to date, categorize, file, title, however they want to do it,
Mm-hmm.
so they're using their own libraries. It'll be interesting to see if DJs would consider utilizing Apple's music library to create their playlist similar to how they do their own managed libraries.
Yeah. And I think especially, what we know as DJing from when we were younger, you had the crates of vinyl albums that they pick up and put on. And now it's just like you said, essentially they just run a playlist. And
Mhm.
then they're just kind of they click their song to play. The next one they do a little scratch or a little transition to like slide to the next one. It's not, to me, unless they're like a purist, it's like they're just playing from a
All
playlist. They go
right,
ahead
now
and
don't be disrespecting the DJs out here now.
I'm just saying a lot of, from what I've seen online, obviously it's not all of them, but from some of the conversation I've seen, especially some of the more like celebrity like DJs, that's kind of what they do, or people who are like, you know, it's not like
you, you on your own on this one. My name is Bennett and I ain't in it.
I'm saying it with my whole chest. I've some of the conversations I've seen is that that's how some people are DJing now. Now, I don't know when the last time I've been to a club because that's not like my seat anymore because been there, done that, and they just all sit in sections and look at each other. and not really dance. So I don't know. I hope for the real DJs out there that if this makes their life easier, then I mean, why not?
Well, my idea is Apple has already curated and categorized and stores and houses the music.
Hmm.
So just from a logistical standpoint, it may be easier for a DJ to pull from Apple Music's library versus trying to dig
To
through
build their
their
own, yeah.
or just dig through their years and years and maybe even decades worth of music
Hmm.
versus you can go into Apple Music and be like dot 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 and boom, it's there. I
And
don't
you don't have
know.
to
I'm just
necessarily worry about storage or whatever, because I assume
right
that if you
carrying.
are doing this level of DJing, that you have to have a lot of music, and music files are not small. And if you have to have that much, you're probably carrying extra hard drives with all the music to be able to kind of, you know, pick and choose whatever the vibe is of whatever party or event you're DJing. Rather, you have kind of like the system where you can just kind of, I assume maybe it's like a drag and drop or search type of thing to make it easier to be able to pull in music and not necessarily have to have additional hardware. And again, that might reduce the amount of stuff that they have to carry, because I would assume you got to carry a lot of crap. I won't say
Hmm.
crap, a lot of equipment and stuff to actually DJ. And maybe this will like cut down on some of the stuff they have to carry.
Yep. All right, so moving on to the next thing, watchOS 11.4, the upcoming watchOS 11.4 is rumored to add a silent breakthrough feature. Basically, what that means is a new feature that has an option to allow sleep wake up alarms to break through silent mode. So basically, when you go to sleep, there's a sleep mode that
Hmm.
dims the screen, mutes all the notifications, including alarms,
Hmm.
for this silent mode. WatchOS 11.4 proposes that each individual alarm, including the one set in the Apple Watch's sleep settings for waking up in the morning, will have a new option to break through silent mode. With it on, sounds and haptic vibrations will both play when an alarm goes up, when alarm goes off. That sounds like, why wouldn't they have done that in the first place? But I guess when people, because there is a do not disturb mode and there's also a silent sleep mode.
Hmm.
And I would assume do not disturb is kind of like, yeah, don't disturb me with the exception of.
Hmm.
Sleep mode is like, for real, don't disturb me, right? Especially if I have other alarms in addition to the times that I set to for sleep to come on
Hmm.
and for the sleep to go off. I guess I would assume that feature would already been there, but nonetheless, it is coming for those people who really like. For instance, I give perfect example, right?
Hmm.
I use the sleep mode, and it alerts me to start to get ready to go to bed like around 11 p.m. Right?
Wine start to wind down. Yeah.
Right. But I also have alarms set for waking my son up in the middle of the night to make him go use the bathroom.
Hmm.
So with this new breakthrough feature, then I should very well be able to set my alarms how I want to, turn on sleep mode or activate sleep mode or let it come on based on the times I've set, and don't have to worry about sleeping through those alarms. So we
So
shall see how it works.
I thought maybe it's with one of the other focus modes, but I thought when you turn them on, you could set like, you know how you have, I don't know how, most people, but I know you can set like emergency contacts in your
Hmm.
phone,
Hmm.
where if you turn it whatever the mode on,
Hmm.
you it will allow a message from like your, hey, if this person
Yes.
texts me when I'm on there, send that through.
Yes,
So
but you have to go through the process and set up that filter though. I think this
oh, maybe
breakthrough
that's what
mode
it
is
is.
just yeah, I think this breakthrough mode is just one button versus the filter. You got to go
Oh.
in and say, all right, I only want these people to contact me and I only want the phone to ring, that sort of thing. But with this, it's
Oh,
just like
okay.
one options. I'm
Oh,
guessing.
okay.
Again, it ain't came out yet, but we shall see when watchOS 11.4 comes out how this feature actually works. 'Cause I'm interested.
I am too, because on another note, I have a thread on my messages. I had it silenced. I think that's what it was called, muted. and the alerts were still coming through, and it really pissed me off. And I looked up, I was like, what am I missing? And so it was like, maybe you haven't silenced them on your other devices. So I'm in the Apple ecosystem. So I went and I made sure that it was silenced on all my, I was like, why is this still coming through? I still haven't figured it out. But that was just a little tangent for being annoyed when I don't want to see a thread come through and they send it anyway. But I digress.
I don't know. Maybe you set the sleep mode for this particular thread. I don't know.
Maybe I may have to create a focus mode just for this thread. Okay, that's annoying, but hey.
All right. So that is going to do it for the lowdown. We're going to move into second string where we talk tech in general. And if you've been living or sleeping under a rock, you have seen the leaders, air quotes,
Yes,
have gotten
for those not watching.
yeah, air quotes, have got into a little trouble. They were on this high-end military war chat message, which seems oxymoron to just even say it, right?
Right.
The Secretary of Defense, the Vice President, the couple other people,
National security, I think.
Yeah, the high end
Intelligence,
people.
yeah.
They had created a Signal group chat on Signal. The messages are supposed to be encrypted. They lock them down from outsiders trying to hack in. But what happened was the call came from inside the house, and the high-end security people in the White House accidentally invited the editor-in-chief of the Atlantic. I'm assuming they assumed he was somebody else, fat fingered it, or whatever the case may be. They invited this dude, and he is in real time watching this chat, and they are just having
Planning
a good
a war.
old time in the group chat, planning a military strategic offensive on Yemen, the Houthis in Yemen. They are backed by Iran. So we as America, again, can't mind our business, save our lives. We have decided they are going to attack the Houthis, who are backed by Iran in Yemen. Again, the problem with this is they in the group chat key with emojis planning strategic war stuff, right? And this editor from the Atlantic is like, I can't believe y'all are doing this, and
like,
really didn't believe it.
It's a joke.
And didn't believe it until the news
stuff started happening that was in the chat,
what they was talking about in the chat. So he drops it. He drops the information because that's what a reporter does. Free speech.
And if he didn't, he could be charged with espionage.
Right. So he drops all the information. Atlantic runs the story, and then the White House goes into, recuperate, or what they call it, defense. Not what is it called? When you're trying to damage control. That's what it's called. They went into damage control, and the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, claimed nobody was texting war plans. The White House press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, claimed no war plans were discussed. At a subsequent hearing, the U.S. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, reiterated the claim that no classified material was shared. So here we got the Secretary of Defense, we got the White House press secretary, we got the U.S. Director of National Intelligence, who are all in this chat running their mouths, publicly say no war plans were discussed, nothing to see here, don't worry about it. This was we got it. Don't even worry about it. So the Atlantic dude was like, oh, word. So then he drops the actual receipts, and I'm just going to read this stuff up because I don't understand none of the words, but this sounds like war plans. So I'm just going to read them. According to the Atlantic, Hegseth's quote unquote, air quote, not war plans included, and these are actual quotes. 1215 ET. I'm assuming that's 1215. 1215 Eastern time.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. F-18's launch, first strike package in quote in parentheses.
F-18s are warplanes. They shoot things down.
Yes, a lot, heavy. So 1345, trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorists, his known location, should be on time. Also, strike drones launch MQ-9s. I'm assuming that's a drone. 1410, more F-18s launch. Second strike package in parentheses. 1415, strike drones on target. In caps, in quotes, in parentheses. This is when the first bombs will definitely drop, pending earlier quote trigger-based targets. 1536, F-19 second strike starts. Also, first sea-based Tomahawks are launched. Quote, more to follow, quote, per timeline. We're currently clean on OPSEC, which is Operations Security. Godspeed to our warriors. Again, I don't know what any of that means, but
Them
that
sounds
sounds
like
like war
fighting
plans.
words to me.
That sounds like word plans.
Oh my
I
god.
haven't been watching the news. I've
He
been
dropped
catching
four
all
more
this.
he dropped 4 more screenshots today because they basically were saying that he infiltrated the chat and that it was on him. Um and that's all what he originally said. That's all that they talked about. He was like, "Oh, really?" He dropped 4 more screenshots. He
Mm-hmm.
probably got
And
bored in the chamber. We just wait for him to say something so he could drop those 2.
yeah, because he's an editor in chief. They know what time it is. They know how
Yeah.
to do things. So he strung them along, and they
Made him feel comfortable.
deny, and then you hit them with the receipts, right?
Bam.
So and then JD Vance, the vice president, responded excellent. 35 minutes after that, the CIA director wrote a good start. Waltz, who is I'm not sure who this guy is. I'm not sure who Waltz is.
He hasn't even been confirmed yet. That
Oh,
that
okay.
I did see. I forgot what his title is, but it's not his
Uh,
title because it hasn't been confirmed yet. But he's like a
right.
nominee for something.
Yeah, and this is the dude who followed with a text containing a fist emoji, an American flag emoji, and a fire emoji. It's like, come on, man. Is this what our nation's top
Yes.
military officials, now I'm gonna say not military because they are not military, as in like they didn't come from the military, but they are in control of the military, the Secretary of Defense, the Vice President, CIA director, all these people are in this group chat, which seems, again, like I mentioned, the exact opposite of what all the movies. All
Yeah.
the movies we've seen, they go into a secure room. They take all of their electronics.
In a
They are
skiff.
on a secure, yeah, they call it a skiff. They always say in the movies, is this a secure line? Yes, a secure line. And then they go run
And they have to leave their phones and everything's outside of their room. So the thing is, Signal is an open source app that anybody that has access to an app store can download on their phone. Sure, they boast end-to-end encryption, but that's in the app. That doesn't
right.
stop someone from taking a screenshot. That doesn't stop anyone from doing a screen record and sharing it. It's only encrypted for the people that are in the chat. And
Right.
even still, some of the stuff that is being discussed is top secret, highly classified, secret security stuff that you're not supposed to have on your phone. Kamala couldn't even text her husband. She had wired headphones, even though I talked about her, even though Bluetooth items can be hacked. So it's one of
And
those
don't
things
forget,
where
and don't forget, what about her emails? Hillary Clinton, they was all on top of her because she had this server in her
private
house,
server.
private server in her house that only she could get into, that had these emails. That is
They
the reason
they
why she
hammered
did not win.
and
That is the
they're still bringing that up. They're saying, "Well, Hillary did it." But the thing
oh my
is
God.
somebody posted a screenshot of one of the emails. You know what the email was asking about? Apparently some woman was in some foreign country. She spoke somewhere. She was like a refugee or an abuse victim or something to that sort, and she was trying to get in contact with the lady. So she
Mhm.
wasn't even talking about this type of stuff. And
Mhm.
so they're trying to say, well, Hillary had a private email server. Hillary did the same thing. No, she didn't. Because
Hillary had a private email server. Y'all chit-chatting on a app from the App Store. And
like
sure,
and
I'm
I'm
pretty
sure on your
sure
private phone because you can't put apps on government phones.
nope. So but they probably, so again, I am in this
Oh
is
yeah,
my
this
field of
is your
work.
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
in this field of work, and you can lock down a phone to where essentially, so I'm not going to say exactly this is what's happening, but
Okay.
the way things work in the private sector
Mm-hmm.
is the the mobile device management software.
Mm-hmm.
You can create your own quote unquote app store to
Mm-hmm.
where all of the end users who get your phone can only download these apps that are already approved,
Approved.
cleared, set up, whatever, lock down all the stuff to where it's like a little mini app store. You don't even
Mm-hmm.
need the Apple App Store the way they
Mm-hmm.
lock these phones down. They give you a
Right.
phone with a phone number. It's got your email, it's got your Teams or Google or whatever, Signal or Slack or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and they have already, prior to you giving you the phone,
Mm-hmm.
have turned off, locked down, encrypted, shut off, removed features that you would actually get in the App Store if
Mm-hmm.
you were a civilian. So
Okay.
I am pretty sure that the Signal app that these people were using is not the same app that you and I would get from the App
Okay.
Store. It's from the same company, but I'm pretty sure the Department of Defense worked
They got a
directly
special
with,
version. Okay.
right. They worked
Okay.
specifically with Signal to say, we want this, that, and the third, not this, not that, extra cripple, extra triple fat goose, lockdown, all the things, right? But even still, like you
Should you
mentioned,
be
that doesn't,
discussing this on chat?
you should not be discussing this stuff on a chat specifically for this reason, because anybody, even if it is Tulsi Gabbard, for example, and she is the whatever, she on her own could screenshot, screen record,
Yeah.
and go take this and give it to somebody else. She
And
could
a
be
lot
the
of these
president.
people that are in this cabinet have been proven to be assets of foreign countries. Or
Yeah,
this
so
could be a potential to be like, hey, I got something you want to see. You want to slide me a little money? Because these
sure.
people have proven that they aren't very trustworthy.
Well, if they wasn't before, they definitely are not now, because they are in Senate hearings, and they, again, I
Are
haven't watched any
lying.
of the
They're
news.
lying in the Senate hearings. Like,
Yeah,
bro.
so but and again, um well, never say never, but you could any normal, on a normal day in America, something like this would drop, and all of those people,
All of
it'd
them
be
out.
curtains. It'd be curtains
Out.
for them. Maybe, just maybe, the scrutiny will ratchet up. At the very least, the scrutiny for what these people, because they're not even experts, they're not even
They're
professionals, they're not
sycophants
they
of
are just
this guy.
regular, they are just regular old people. And
Yeah.
when you let regular old people run the country, this is what you get. So now I'm hoping that any future appointees, any future conversations, um, um, any future scrutiny we will pay closer attention to, because of this guffaw, or this lapse. And I can't even call it a lapse, because they were never
This
secure in
is
the
just
first
complete
place.
incompetence. That's what it is.
Yes, yes. So
And
I'm hoping.
I'm glad you're hopeful. I'm gonna be the pessimist here and say I ain't got it. Because this is the chat that we know about. And we
Mhm.
only know about it is because one of these knuckleheads added in
The
someone from
wrong
the press.
person.
Can you
Mhm.
imagine the amount of other chats
Sure, sure,
and what they're
sure,
talking about?
sure.
Because these people aren't very smart.
Yeah, sure. We shall see, because that's all the news is talking about, and I hope at the very least they got to dodge some serious bullets, not figuratively, not actually,
Not
but
literally,
like
figuratively.
proverbially,
Yeah.
figuratively. You have to dodge some bullets in order to get out of this one, and hopefully
I
they'll
don't
get
think
on
they
a straight
will.
and narrow. But we shall see.
I don't think so.
All right, that's
That's just
going to do it for second string. We're going to move into for the culture, where we talk anything culturally relevant. And two of my favorite rappers back in the day, Redman and Method Man, to this day are still putting on shows, still putting on concerts, are still giving you that nostalgia that myself personally grew up on listening to their music, right?
mhm.
So Redman was in I think he was on a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and the podcast person asked him, how's it going with you and Method Man? Tell me how y'all hang out. Give me like, give me the tea, as
Mm-hmm.
they say, on your all's relationship. And Redman, the 54-year-old rapper, was asked if he still hangs out with Method Man, and Redman, in the most Redman way possible, was like, "Hell no," he said emphatically. "We do shows and we come back home. I don't hang out with a lot of rappers at all. This is work, and then this is home. We are very inclusive with our movement. You know how we move.
Mm-hmm.
Once we're off the road, we're like, all right, you got family to deal with. I got shit I got to do. My circle is very small, so we all have different lives. And considering the fact that Redman and Method Man are in their 50s,
Mm-hmm.
I am surprised by the amount of people who are taken aback
Mm-hmm.
by the fact that they now know, or have been hip to the fact that outside of work, these dudes go home and live their own regular lives.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's to me, it's refreshing,
Mm-hmm.
because to me, it shows that these people have lives outside of their job, and all we see on social media and all we see in the actual music and the performing. I'm surprised that people believe that these entertainers live what they see or what they portray in the media, in social
Mm-hmm.
media. And it's like, why wouldn't y'all think, when the camera says cut, and when the music cuts off, and when the show is over, these people don't go home? They got y'all thinking they in the club until 2 and 3 in the morning. They got y'all thinking that these people that they decided to feature with on the song is they best friends. We done seen it with Drake and Meek Mill and Kendrick Lamar and all the other rappers that had these beef that once were buddy buddy. Like there's my favorite, not my favorite song. One of my songs that I listen to on a regular
Mm-hmm.
is Swimming Pools with Kendrick Lamar featuring Drake.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they on the song would make you think, oh, we the top and this and that and other. Fast forward to now, they hate each other, apparently. So I'm
Yeah.
just surprised that just stuff like that. And then reading this story, that they are not like, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, they go to work and then they go home, just like I do.
So I'm not really surprised, because likely when they were younger, when they were 19, when they were 20, because these dudes have known each other since they were young. So yeah, when they were 19, 20, 21, 25, maybe even 30, was they out in the clubs after shows? Hell yeah. Were they out hanging out, kicking it, doing whatever? Sure. But again, the key word you said is they're 54.
Mm-hmm.
They are in their 50s.
Mm-hmm.
They have kids who are at the
Grandkids in some
age,
cases.
right, where they are out in the clubs and doing the thing. But again, I'm not near that age, but I know when I go and do my job, when I leave my job, I want to go home.
I don't want to see y'all. I don't want to
My
talk to
body can't
y'all.
take the extra stuff. And with these people, you're talking about entertainers who are on stage for 2 hours, jumping up and down, screaming, dancing, all this stuff. They don't want to go to the club and do that no more, not at
You know
54.
what I think? You know
They
what I
want to go
think?
home and soak some Epsom salt.
People want to believe that after these shows, they go back into the green room, have a bunch of women sitting around them, a bunch of hangers on dudes hanging around them while they smoke blunts for 2 or 3 more hours. And then they go to the studio and then write a song or whatever. I don't care if they are 50 or 20. I guarantee you, these young kids that are out here rapping now, I guarantee you, after a show, they go home.
I'm sure
Now,
some of them do that, but
sure,
probably
some of them
the
do,
majority, no.
but if they ain't getting paid, if they ain't on the clock, if the event or the venue ain't paying them, if they're not making money by singing song, putting
Or
down
if
tracks or
somebody not
whatever,
paying for this, if they
or
not
they're not,
funding their
I'm out of
actors,
here. I am
let
out
go.
of here. And
Yeah.
I don't understand why people don't believe. People have this. They've created this this not facade. They've created this image of what a superstar is, and them superstar people are just like us. And
It's
I don't
you
understand why
said
people don't
it.
get it.
You said it. It's I think it's the escapism. They don't get to live
Sure,
this life, and they're
sure.
like they see these people that they love, the music that they love, they see the images from
They
their
live in
videos,
vicariously through
from
them.
their interviews, and they create these elaborate, things. Again, some of these people I'm sure do this because we've seen the videos, we've seen the Instagrams of them going out partying, and they're just assuming this is what they do every single day. No, bro, maybe this is a maybe once a month type of thing. Maybe
They took the
on a
picture.
special occasion.
They took the picture and then went home.
Got some video, got some video, got some video. All right, I'm
Mm,
done.
and
So
got
yeah.
you out here believing that they be hanging all day, all night long. I'm
At
like, these are
54, bro, get out
right.
of here.
All right. So that is going to do it for the culture. We're going to move into the hookup, and this little trick I found is how to retrain Siri on your voice. Because again, like I mentioned at the top, natural language Siri is not there yet. Apple Intelligence Siri is not there yet, but we got regular old Siri. So let's figure out how to get the most out
Mhm,
of regular old Siri. And I think one of the things that you could do if you haven't done in a long time is just take the time to retrain Siri on your voice. And basically, the way you do this is you go into settings and then you select Siri or Apple Intelligence and Siri, depending on which phone you have, and tap talk and type to Siri. Turn the option at the top to off, and then toggle it back on again by selecting Siri or Hey Siri. Siri or Hey Siri. Once you toggle it back on, you'll be prompted to train or retrain your voice. So take a little bit of time. You know what it's like when you open up a new phone, enable Siri, you say, "Hey Siri, how's the weather?" And "Hey Siri, what time is it today?" Those little
mhm.
phrases. Take the time and go through those voices, those voice prompts again, so Siri can retrain and learn your voice. Because I don't know, maybe you got an optic a little bit high, not optic, an
Octave.
octave. Yes, an octave a little higher, an octave a little bit lower. Your stress levels may be up, so you may talk a little bit differently. So yeah, take the time to retrain Siri to get the most out of Siri until Apple finally gives us the Apple Intelligence and the Siri we've been waiting on.
I think I need to do this because I have HomePod minis all over my house.
Mhm.
And lately, in the on the main TV that I use, Siri picks up whatever's being said on the television. Okay, I wasn't talking to you, girl. Um, picks up what I'm saying on the television. Well, picked up what's being said on the television, and it was like,
Right.
you want to find more about this? Open up your iPhone. It's like, no, girl, I didn't call you. Stay over there. That's someone
Mm-mm.
else
I'd be
talking.
like, I'd be like, hey, play my specific play my exercise playlist, and she'll be
Uh,
thinking about it and be like, playing these songs just for you. I said, no,
no,
that's not what I said. Play my exercise playlist. Here's music just for you. It's like, you know what? Never mind.
girl, stop.
So we all probably need to take some time to retrain
Yep,
Siri on your voice just for anything, just to get her act together.
yep.
All right. So that is going to do it for the hookup. And that means that's going to do it for this week's show. So, Nica, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me at Tech Savvy Diva everywhere.
And you can find me all over the internet at Brother Tech. That's BROTHATECH. If you want to find out what's going on with the show, do us a favor, man. You can do two things. The first one is to rate and review our podcast on your favorite podcast player. Please do that. Just go to the podcast, write a review. That helps us out tremendously. And number two, go to patreon.com/snoboscast. There you become a Snobist member and you'll get exclusive content. We had our pre-show to where you will not hear because got to be a member of the Snobist community. So please go to patreon.com/snoboscast. Get all the juicy bits that you will not hear on this show. And until next week, we are out. Peace.
Bye, everybody.